E buonasera, sera bella gente, buona domenica soprattutto e benvenuti in questa nuova puntata dello Zio Lord con il primo capitolo della serie The Outer Worlds. Bene raga, prima di iniziare come sempre vi ricordo a tutti che oltre a me c'è sempre tanta bella gente simpatica. In live abbiamo la nostra bellissima Linora, Tifetta, Liquiscino Za, chi il dottor Puccio, la Strala Pippi, il gruppo Ned Dream, Fanez e Grey 92. Secondo raga, sto per cominciare.
And I bet you believed Halcyon Helen's death.
Inspector, good to see you. Let me just grant you access and... Welcome to the Piraeus Spaceport.
Captain.
Hey, you! We've been looking for you, and by we, I mean Slug. Been real busy sniffing around Eridanos for clues, haven't you, Inspector? See, Slug Light Underground don't like that much.
Slug light? Would that be some form of bioluminescence? No? Nothing?
Should have kept your nose where it belonged, Inspector. Slug's sick of all your meddling in their affairs. Our affairs, I mean. We're... Draw, you damn breadworm, draw! Well, you ain't gonna stick that no... Quick, everyone!
Trouble incoming, Captain. Their defeat.
Hello. Welcome to Eridanos Dry Goods and Sundry, the most standard and unremarkable general store this side of Halcyon. I'm Marketeer Joseph Dempsey, here to make your shopping experience as pleasant and normal as possible. Oh, I see you've read some of my poems. Very clever, Inspector. Yes, my pen name is the Marketeer, though I also use it in certain business dealings. Wait a moment. Why do you ask? Hey now, hey, let's all be reasonable here. I'm just a middleman. None of this was my idea. Occasionally, jobs requiring discretion arrive here from the hotel. Always anonymous and always lucrative. For a sizable cut, I set these... Somebody sent me a note telling me they wanted you dead. I don't know who... Yeah, of course. It's called a paper trail. Give me a little credit. I'm a professional. I've got to have some standards. I understand your distrust, but look at me in my place of business. What would I stand to gain from destroying you? versus how much I stand to lose if discovered. You're welcome to remain suspicious, but in the meantime, you're completely welcome to browse my wares at your leisure. No surcharge. Again, terribly sorry. Welcome back.
Hey, I saw your ship. The Unreliable, right? It's a real beauty.
What do you want? Shh! Not so loud!
How'd you know it was me?
Yeah, that makes sense. You must be a good one to sniff me out. I'm in no mood to sign autographs, and I hate...
Oh, yeah, I guess it's kinda...
No, I've been trying to find who did this. That's what she would do. Tracked... But I'm stumped. And...
There are many types of intelligence, Mr. Holcomb. For example, your, expertise on the field. Your hack attack is nothing short of brilliant.
Oh, so you're the inspector!
Hope you have more luck figuring things out than me. You probably want to ask me some questions, huh? I'm sure you're asking everybody questions, so you can find Helen's killer. So, how do I help? I was getting blotto with the rest of the Rangers. You know, soaked, muddled, preserved.
He's saying he was drunk, Captain.
The team noticed I was in a bad way when I got back to the hotel. When I told them Helen and I were Splitsville, they wanted to cheer me up. We were up the pole afore evening. The hotel staff said we was bothering the other guests on account of all the crying and yelling and practice body tackling. Zeke said we should move elsewhere, get some air. We ended up at the Wilderness Exploitation Reserve. I think somebody wanted to pet a woolly cow? There was this one cow off away from the others. Zeke figured it'd be a laugh to get her drunk. One thing led to another, and I think we might have maybe, you know, stolen her. Oh, wow! That's real clever of you to figure...
Say, is the cap...
That's good. I hope she doesn't have a hangover or nothing. My memory's a little muddled after that. I guess me and the team got split up, because I know I was on my own at the pilot house for a time. I reckon not. See, I went to the weather station. I was looking for where Helen stashed her datapad for safekeeping, right? She'd asked me to get it, mind. I wasn't stealing. I'm no thief. Sure did. Only there was a guard out there who found me. She started yelling about how I was trespassing and in serious trouble. Thing is, it was real dark out there. So dark, she couldn't tell who I was. Real sure. It was dark as night gets. Plus, I've got small veins. Anyway, I didn't much feel like trying to explain why I was out there. Ran like the Rangers were down by 3 and I just bronzed the toss ball in the Friday zone. Yeah, I mean, no. I don't want to tell you. Look, I talked to Auric, okay? Auric West. Hangs out around the spaceport. He's the one who taught me the... That sounds like... So now you have the whole story. Woke up the next morning with Helen's datapad in my hand and the hangover to end all hang... Oh, yeah, you'll probably want... Helen sure did have the prettiest handwriting. Yeah. Yeah, me too. Sorry. Here you go, Inspector. Hopefully they make more sense to you. I couldn't make heads or tails of them. Either she was writing in code or I'm dumber than a bag of hammers. I tried for hours to crack her notes, but it's like I said. Being bright was Helen's thing. Okay. And listen, I want to help you find her killer, Inspector. I knew Helen better than anybody. And it'd be handy to have a guy like me around, in case anybody gives you trouble. I get it. I'll head back to the Grand Colonial then. Unless you need me for anything else?
Somehow, I don't think the freelancers and sublight...
Hey, pal. Over here. Hey there. You're looking to unwind? Maybe you're interested in something a little better than beer, or... The name's Auric. I know. Why go for that homegrown shit? Well... Alternatives. That's the way to go, pal. What do I sell? You got...
It's probably just ground up fast ration pills. Or it's the real thing.
And if you're a... Wait, you ain't a sheriff, right? I'll be honest, I don't really know where that puts us. All right, fine. Yeah, damn shame about that. Birdie thought the world of Helen, you know. He showed up drunk at my place wanting to talk about the breakup. Helen dumped him, he said. Boy, was he in a bad way. I'd never seen him like that before. We talked for a while, and when he felt better, I sent him back to the hotel. Told him to drink more water and get some sleep. He may or may not buy alternatives from me from time to time. A little diluted mantis or essence here, a little vitamin B negative there. He's stressed out of his mind, the poor guy. Everyone knows his name. Can't turn around without having to sign an autograph. Then you throw in playing tossball for a living. Violence like that, it does things to a body. It does things to the head. Come on. Birdie's a damn good hacker, but taking that many blows to the noggin would scramble anyone's upstairs business. I know it's knocked a few of his memories loose. I worry about him, that's all. He's a good kid. Got a good heart. Yeah, that was me. Birdie's got a temper, but he's not a bad kid, you know? He's trying to work on it. What can I do you for? Sure, all right. What can I do you for?
Oh, it's you again. What about her? Look, you and me, we both know I'm a big dumb tossball star, right? Helen? Being with Helen was magic. She was magic. There ain't good enough words for something as special as what we had together. I wish I knew. Must have been something I did. At the picnic, Helen just kept saying she didn't want to drag me into her world. Maybe one of the higher-ups... rival actresses, maybe? I don't know too much about the motion picture industry. Except for Helen's pictures, obviously. Those I probably know by heart. Seen them about 100 times each. What do you want to know? Yeah? Oric's a businessman. He sells stuff you can't get elsewhere. You know, alternative stuff. We're talking sort of science, crockery, whole supplements. Maybe putting effort accelerators in your body isn't always the right call, you know? Maybe there are other options. Maybe I don't take all the accelerators Rizzo's pushes on me. Oh, yeah. Yeah? Oric hangs around the spaceport. Tossball was, is, and I would...
Hey, I think I know you. You're that inspector they hired, right?
What can I do you for? Alternative? Oh! What do you got... And if... Sure, alright. Yeah. You sure? We talked for...
If I were the killer, I'd hide the body in one of those crates. No one would find it for years. Never...
Oh, you're that inspector. Right. Sorry, but the pool's currently closed. What can I do? Space me if I knew. I got here for my shift this morning and found it this way. They can't yell at me for this one, which is good, because a lot of... Gee, you're pretty sharp. Yeah, the reception party would have extended out here, but we had to close it off. What with the contamination. And now the can't do much now, but wait for the... Wow, they should have just cut out the wage garnisher and hired you. Why don't you add your mix to the pool doohickey over... So long? Yeah, it's part of the job. I think I'm listed as a security consultant. But all that really means is that if I'm caught without this thing, I get put on pool guard duty. I don't know what happens if I'm caught without it on pool guard duty, but I know that I don't want to find out. Yep, still dead. Usually Rizzo's is pretty good at making sure the people they hire ain't got tripicale for brains. But that fella clearly wasn't worth trusting. I met him briefly once. Seemed level-headed enough, but that must have been just a front. Otherwise, he wouldn't have made such a mess of things. Sounds good to me.
was going to wash my hands, I swear.
Inspector, not a moment too soon. I've just finished my autopsy report. Ruth Bellamy was killed by plasma damage to the upper vertebrae, the occipital bone, and the cerebellum. If it's any consolation, her death was instantaneous and painless. I've also discovered a poisonous compound in Miss Bellamy's stomach lining ingested during her last meal. Toxic, but not enough to kill her. Spencer Woolrich complained of a stomach ailment around the same time period. I assumed he was being, Spencer. But now I'm not so sure. Oh, most certainly. Well, possibly they were trying to make her extremely uncomfortable, but I suppose killing her would also satisfy that criterion. Conversations with Mr. Woolrich tend to spontaneously transform into monologues. You'll find him on the VIP guest floor. I'd best return to work, Inspector. Autopsies always whet my appetite, and all this talk of food is distracting me.
Aha! Oh. If you see black hole...
Please, ask me. Indeed. The agonizing bowel pain was most undignifying. While I've certainly had no shortage of inadequate hotel meals, this was most explicitly pronounced. I suspect poison. And who would be most likely to poison me but Chef Anwar? Oh, we've clashed almost non-stop about his slop preparation. He must have tainted my meal in retaliation. Is that a jibe? Could you imagine the tabloid headlines? Spencer Woolrich, Aetherwave star, spotted in gastronomic distress. Oh, unseemly hardly describes the half of it. How alarming! Whoever targeted her was certainly targeting me. I can only thank my ironclad constitution that I'm standing here before you. Oh, that's very good to know. Perhaps the poisoner simply meant to incapacitate us both, disrupt the product launch. I couldn't say, Inspector. I'm merely an actor. None that I can think of. I treat all hotel staff equally, and with the minimum level of respect that they deserve. Very well. Oh, must I relive that ghastly event again? My intestines still have yet to fully recover, but I suppose... Very well.
Aha! To the lobby we go!
Yes? Are you here for the double rack of smoked sprat? Well, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but you'll have to wait. Oh, don't give me that look. Let me see if I can pencil you in for later. Actually, what am I saying? I can't do that. I'm booked for the next month. You'll have to make a reservation. Crime or no crime, I must keep my head on my work. One does not simply become the head chef in all of Eridanos by fretting over irrelevant happenings. You're the inspector? Here? Why... I mean... You may ask me whatever you want. I have nothing to hide. Of course I did. I would never allow anyone else to touch the meals of so important a guest. Oh my law, this is the end, isn't it? My mother always warned me that the culinary world was too dangerous, but I didn't heed her warnings. Okay, I wasn't the one who did it, but I might have been mistaken when I said I was constantly watching Helen's food. Spencer Woolrich and Bellhop Owens were underfoot in the kitchen as I was preparing Helen's meal. Either one of them could have tampered with the food when I was fetching ingredients. I understand your reluctance, but... Oh, I just remembered. The kitchen security camera. It'll prove I'm telling the truth about everything. Constable Keene has access to the security footage in her office at the spaceport. If you visit her, you can figure out what truly happened with Helen's meal. Well, it's a breach of professionalism, of course. Why else would I worry about it? What? Truly? That's an alarming business oversight. Instead of volatile chemicals, the corporations should put barbiturates in everything. Everyone likes barbiturates. But I don't believe that was a risk with Helen's meal. I was, up to something else. I may have taken some time to engage in a teensy bit of recreational drinking, and consequently, I may have been somewhat less than coherent after preparing Helen's meal. Yes, but not specifically. Owens often procures exotic ingredients from the creatures at the Wilderness Exploitation Reserve. Our guests can be rather... particular. Let's not talk about the incident with the Raptidon pheromone glands. It's always hard to say when Owens might be back. If I were you, I'd make a trek to the reserve myself. Otherwise, who knows how long you'll have to wait. Mr. Woolrich often finds the hotel's meals wanting. He seems to enjoy complaining in person. While I could appreciate someone with a discerning palate for once, I believe that Mr. Woolrich simply enjoys the attention he gets from us. Though don't tell him I said as much. If you wish to speak with him, Mr. Woolrich can most likely be found in his suite On the VIP guest floor. He's usually there if he's not poking around here. Thank you for your understanding.
Incoming!
mess.
Smile, damn you! Huh? What's that?
Greetings, non-criminally associated individual. The bureaucratic processes are currently suspended. At present, please speak clearly into this unit's record. All requests for security footage require a nominal compulsory bribe. Is that acceptable? Error. Bit processing unit has been removed. Temporarily surpassing bit fee request. Delivering footage. Thank you for your. If you would like a wine. Error. Unit designation no. While potential lethality of unit instrumentation bears towards 90 all how many checking logs error in limitation 1 limitation
Aha! If you see Black Hole Birdie...
Ask me. Oh? Have you now? Tampering? No, no, no. I just happened to be passing through the kitchen and saw a dish that looked good. What? That damn bellhop promised discretion. Well, if you must know, it's, an appetite suppressant. How do you think I keep my form so lithe? Terror ray glands keep me from feeling hunger pangs. Oh, well, there's... maybe I just wanted to see what was it. As it so happens, I may not. But before you indict me, please, just... I will. Terror ray glands aren't supposed to be lethally poisonous. They're supposed to cause extreme lethargy. She would have had to eat 6 or 7 of the glands to die. And even then, it would be an... I was just getting to that. I only wanted her to be incapacitated during the Brown unveiling. With her out of commission, please think twice about telling the administrator of my misdeeds. If he learns... Thank you very much.
Aha! Next stop.
Inspector. I'm pleased to hear that. Bertie Holcomb is a valuable asset. When Helen was murdered, Bertie was nowhere to be found. The timing of his disappearance is unfortunate. Try not to feel too bad for him. Bertie is a brilliant athlete. The universe has balanced his talent by making him a slackwit. I don't understand what it was that Helen saw in Bertie. Whatever it was, she seemed to trust him implicitly. He was all... I'm not a heartless man, Inspector. I know that losing Helen... Be plain with me, Inspector. I'm relieved to hear that. I happen to be something of a fan of the hack attack. I'd hate to see him processed for murder, but I'd like you to continue your investigation. I appreciate that. I'd rather keep Bertie within the public eye than... If you're through investigating Bertie, I recommend looking into Cedric Kincannon. He's been entirely too comfortable since we began this investigation. I don't trust Cedric when he's... Excellent. I trust you. Are you saying you were outmaneuvered, Inspector? Because that isn't what I want to hear. What I want to hear, I hope you will redouble your effort.
To the lobby.
Spokesman said that
We've got a fight on our hands.
That's the last. I want to be your friend.
We're the future of stuff like this. You got an appointment? Appointment? Yeah, that's why you're here. No appointment? The boss can always use more bits. Mr. Kincannon, got an appointment here. Says they've got some kind of business proposition for you.
That sounds like our inspector. Please, send her up.
Why, if it isn't the inspector, I was hoping you'd swing by.
Here for my alibi, I assume.
Another murder? Drunk Raptidons? Black Hole Birdie practicing his hacking in the middle of the street? Stop me if it's one of those. Did you now? You're confident they were slug agents and not... I'm a very specific man. The real question is...
I suspect you're right.
But I can't fathom who would benefit from tarnishing my... Oh, that's good. That's very good, Inspector. I don't want to accuse anyone without hard evidence, though it may be worth noting Ludovico had...
So, as you've deduced, I did not send anyone from Slug after you. No.
Well, that's settled.
Let's see. Torturing Elliot Nasser for information on missing cargo. That was a messy one. Didn't break until nearly noon the next day. Can you imagine? An excellent question. I had his body dropped off the edge of the... I'm not sure what happened to it from there, scientifically speaking. Maybe you'd be a fool to believe me, regardless of... And I appreciate that, Inspector. The fact of the matter, if it helps, however, you might consider pursuing not my means, but why in the name of the architect would I kill Halcyon Helen? I'm considering a line of commemorative merchandise. Still, that's nothing compared to what Helen would have made us in the long run. I'd offer to assist you in your work. You may very well want to. This particular trouble's items are disappearing from Slug's storage and processing warehouse. Before you ask, I know the difference between... I'm not sure. I'm only that the thefts began mere days before Helen's untimely demise is I'm not a man who believes in happenstance. I certainly wouldn't. Regardless, this will be... You do recall, Inspector, that I'm not to... You'll want to... No. And do feel free to search my office for clues while you're here. Don't... Was there something else you wanted to discuss? Very well. A few. Helen was strangely curious about the private business operations around Eridanos. She said it was role research. But how much business know-how does one actor truly need for an action picture? I also arranged to have Helen supplied with mag picks, bypass shunts, and other hacking tools. She wanted to buy in bulk. Because she paid me to, Inspector. Besides, Helen was enjoyable company. She was confident, resourceful, determined, not unlike you, now that I consider it. That is the question, isn't it, Inspector? Tell me, do you really believe Helen's death was a mere crime of passion? Or one of petty career jealousy? A smart approach, Inspector. And yet, this murder is bigger than Miss Helen's personal life. Bigger than her latest moving picture. Her actions in the time leading up to her death do not align with those of an actor on Eridanos solely to promote Spectrum Brown. Stay sharp, Inspector. Now is not the time to lose focus. Because whoever did kill Helen is not going to come forward so easily. I just might.
Your point, Inspector? Yes, I suppose you have. Be very careful, Inspector. I'd very much like to see you still around for the grand finale, whenever it comes, whatever shape it takes. One moment, if you please, Inspector. I've answered your questions. I believe it's my turn to ask you a question now. What, or who, made you decide to investigate me? I see. What a shame your hunch didn't pan out. Now then, did you need anything else?
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. This copy of TK contains 142 fewer pages than a standard copy. The missing pages were likely removed to create sufficient space for the hidden listening device inside. Inspector, please consider speaking into the device in order to trace the transmission and reveal the receiver's location. Ominous threat transmitted. Transmission analysis complete. While the precise location of the receiver could not be pinpointed, it has been narrowed down to a smaller, approximate range. Analysis inconclusive. However, there is a minor accumulation of dust particles present on the book's uppermost surface. The area within a 0.5-meter radius of the book possesses a dust coating comprised of at least twice the number of particles. That is highly likely, Inspector.
What's that you found? No, wait. Don't tell me. Let's save it for the big reveal once you've solved the case.
What the heck? What do you think you're doing?
Sublight appreciates your business, friend.
What's that you found? No, wait. Don't tell me. Let's save it for the big reveal once you've solved the case.
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. A cursory fingerprint analysis shows this display case was recently opened or closed. Confirmed. The grip has been modified for a specific wielder, most likely the rifle's owner. Additionally, the plasma rifle sights appear to have been realigned to better accommodate a shooter with slight myopia in one eye. The fingerprints belong to Cedric Kincannon.
Oh, admiring my rifle. Had it custom fitted by a woman on Monarch.
I wonder if all these cargo containers are stored here for any legitimate reason, or just to give Sublight more opportunities for larceny.
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. Transmission endpoint discovered. The receiver in this book matches the transmitter to the listening device found in Cedric's office. It's somewhat grime-covered. Due to the high level of foot traffic in this area, this unit is unable to determine who placed the device. Based on the accumulated mix of sludge and detritus, the receiver has been present since approximately a week before Helen's death.
Hi there. Sorry, this area is off limits to port vision. Sorry about that.
Wonder how many of these boxes fell off the back of the loader.
You're the inspector, aren't you? Boss Kincannon said you'd be by about... Gosh, this is so neat. Oh. Well, yeah, but they weren't suspects. Right, so the missing cargo. How can I help your investigation? That's the weird part. There's no pattern, far as I can tell. The thefts don't make sense. I ask you, who would steal a handful of Spacer's Choice Sabers, so dull they can barely cut mud, but leave the spectrum black? Ugh. Who'd be desperate enough to want to steal a Spacer's Choice Saber, full stop? Yeah, probably not. No one's dumb enough to think Spacer's Choice Sabers are worth half a damn. Then there's the most recent theft. 5 boxes of pens and a couple of sodas. I can't decide which one's sadder. That's probably not their motive. No. Everyone here at Freight Storage and Processing, for a start. Thing is, the cargo is going missing before the shipments even get to the warehouse. Best I can figure, it's probably getting lost in the shipping yard. As for who has access there, Benton Chan, he's the shipping yard manager. He told me it's mainly just the loading automechs that handle cargo. Could be. Those things'll break if you so much as look at them funny. That's Benton's area, but don't bother asking him for help. Last time it won't bother him any. Hopefully... Maybe they're keen on cashing out. I don't know. Boss Kincannon's office, just about all... Every best... As for... Nah, Benton's too lazy for crime. The extra... Last time I asked him to check the automech... It won't. Hope... Oh, before I forget, I figured you might want to access my terminal, so I had a spare key. I wish you were...
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. Inspector, this loading automechanical's programming does not match factory default settings. The standard defensive protocol has been modified to include an additional trigger. There is a directive in place to initiate defensive protocol should an unsanctioned data log installed in this automechanical be removed. Slug automechanical maintenance records indicate this particular unit is frequently reported as out of position or missing for periods of time. For Type K-19 cargo transport automechanicals, defensive protocol is triggered by attempted interference with cargo, or its transportation, or attempted destruction of the unit. Once triggered, defensive protocol targets the perpetrator and applies lethal force until the target has been deceased for a minimum of 3 minutes.
Loading automechanical unit K-14 is fully operational. How can this access panel is open? Please be sure. Ejecting data log 17C. Alert. Fails. Understood. The ejected data log, it also contains. Apologies. This unit. Kill mode.
Here they come!
You ever wondered what would happen if you walked off the edge of Eridanos?
To what do I owe the pleasure? Ooh, I love this part. What makes you say that? Damn, you're good. Hacking the Automex. So that was our skimmer's game. But why? Everything that was stolen has seemed random. A cover-up. I see. The random... I must say, Inspector, you've done... Then that just leaves how the culprit knew where their true target would be, or indeed, that Slug would soon possess it. Am I right to think what you found in my office earlier was the... Not quite, Inspector. That listening device belongs to... I lent it to Halcyon Helen to assist her with role Unbelievable. I helped her. Gave her whatever she needed. This is a betrayal, Inspector. I do not... Helen should consider herself very lucky indeed that she is already among the dead. Yes. There is, however, a slight chronological incongruency to it. I now have a motive to kill Hal. If I'd known Helen was stealing from me... Indeed. Incidentally, feel free to stop by after you clear me as a suspect. I wish you luck with your investigation, though I doubt you'll need it. Now, if you'll excuse me, I must find a way to excise my anger that...
Pool's nothing but an acrid mess of concrete, I hear. Hope I'll hear the sound of Rizzo's heads hitting the floor next. Glad you got... Here's your pay. Spacer's Choice thanks you for your contribution.
Well done. We are victorious.
This is Silvio Tran, setting a new record for the Grand Colonial Bellhops Laundry Cart League. If you're listening to this, you're listening to history. And Daltrey, as we agreed, when I win, you're scraping terrorist shit off the windows for the rest of your contract. And you can stow the fear of heights routine because there's no way you're weaseling out of that, pal. Here goes. That's... Move the box! No, not... No!
If they intend to keep the wilderness inside their reserve, they might want to invest in a gate that can close.
Excuse me, Gunther. I need to ask you something.
Who in the hell is Gunter? I told... Welcome to Hunter Legal's Legal Hunter Supplies. I am Hunter Legal. Unusual. This whole land complex is a failed wildlife exhibition turned hunting reserve. You can't go 10 feet without stepping in unusual. But I reckon you're asking about people unusual. I'd go have a... But she is mighty far in the depths of the reserve. Perhaps you should purchase... I'm sure I don't know what you mean. No, these are supplies for... Where? I've got... Hunt...
Sorry, but we're a little busy right...
Lawrence, do you know who you're talking to? We always...
The inspector? That's you? I am so... Oh, Law, it's all over.
Lawrence, let me do the talking here. Inspector, pay him no mind. I'm sure you've bigger saltuna to can... Don't pay him any mind, Inspector. His upper story. But seeing as you insist on sticking your... That is, since you're so curious. We, misplaced some people on our last tour. Misplaced them in the maws of some local predators. Now we're stuck here wondering how to get their room keys. Might have been Raptidons. I find it hard to tell them apart. Here's one. We ain't done nothing illegal. The guests signed the proper waivers to come out. Still, it'd be a pain.
We knew sooner or later this...
You kidding?
Our bosses would want this situation resolved, just like... We're the real victims here. The dead can't suffer anymore, but we can. Did I just hear that right?
We're not out of the woods yet. Let's just... We last saw the guests deeper in the wilderness, Inspector. That'd be a good place to look.
Well done. We're still alive. Our victory is their defeat.
Aether waves won't be the same without Helen. We're all gonna be stuck with Spencer Woolridge.
Their mistake.
Hit! Everyone all right? Here we go. Nice hit. Ellie's hurt.
I don't get it. Why build...
Have your back. It'll be over quickly.
Hey there. You find... That's all of them. You're a lifesaver. Lawrence, you got the...
Let's see, which pocket did I... Here you are, Inspector. We'll make sure to put in a good word with our friends, too. We'll wait here a little longer, and start clearing out their rooms when the shift changes. Not sure what we'll do with their belongings.
Lawrence, we talked about this, remember? Anyhow, thanks again, Inspector. Good... Oh, hey there, stranger. Don't mean to interrupt your business. 3 legs, conical body, wearing a Well, normally I'd be inclined to... Oh, I ain't no hunter. At least not in the traditional sense. Rent a mechanic. The shopkeeper. Betty's just your standard tripod mechanical. Her main... That's what I was afraid of. You sound like you... Hey, thanks so much. If you find...
Welcome back. But... Hunter...
Hit! Everyone all right?
No cacaos detected nearby. Returning to slug maintenance worker.
Hey, Oh, Betty, you big... And you. Ain't you just the most reliable freelancer in the call? Yep, that's right. Her parameters for movement. Since Betty's back safe and sound, I'll be sure to let my coworkers know that you're a good one. Here's some money. Oh, I won't be turning...
Okay, nobody needs this many candles. Hello, welcome to the Prophet of Profitability's private least. If you felt imbalanced and unproductive, linger in your malaise no longer. We have all the amenities and practices for calming the ill humors strangling your potential. Sit for hours in our sweat house and sweat them out, or stand amidst burning coals and feel your productive inhibitions burn away. And remember, Of course, I've been studying under her for years. I know each of her techniques more or less by heart, and even have some variations of my own, such as the quintuple daily stomach purges. She's promised me that I'd be allowed to open my own branch of the retreat someday soon. Of course, I've been waiting on someday soon for coming up on 4 years now. I'm sure it's gonna happen anytime now. Oh, terribly sorry if I gave you that impression. I had a cramp. It's better now. I mean, it might be nice if I had a little inclination of whether the Prophet appreciated all the cooking and cleaning and hours of meditation I do on a daily basis. But whatever she thinks isn't for me to question. I'll do my best to be more chipper. Oh my. Yes, this is important enough for me to delay my bi-hourly self-flagellation. Ask away. Yes, the circumstances there are quite unfortunate. For a time, the Prophet was completely despondent. Even the hot coal walks weren't buoying her spirits as they usually do. However, we recently had a high-profile visitor whose presence seemed to alleviate whatever the Prophet's fears were. I'm actually not entirely certain. It was a surreptitious visit that stood out because it was surreptitious. Whoever it was must have paid the Prophet quite a lot to keep things quiet. At least that's the only reason I can think of for intentionally keeping things so hush-hush. Well, by and large, no. But something rather odd did happen regarding the Prophet recently. A few hours after our high-profile visitor arrived a couple of days ago, the Prophet asked me to take over sessions for the remainder of the day. At first, I was excited. Thought it was my chance to show her what I could do in charge. But then I saw that she was deeply worried about something. No one saw her until the next day. I was here at the retreat in the company of the other disciples and clients. Which is fine, of course. I do what I do in the service of the Prophet, who will, I'm sure, reward me for my sacrifice. Eventually. Certain. I noticed the Prophet dragging something, a bundle, away from the retreat after that high-profile guest arrived. Normally I'm the... Especially because I think so. Had the right size and shape. I could have. The Prophet had...
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. Identifying human footprints leading out into the wilderness. It is unusual for productivity disciples to wander more than a few feet from the camp. Scanning. Judging by footprint depressions and shoe size, these prints were either made by the Prophet of Profitability or Adjutant Sophia Akande. Error. Recalibrating. These footprints were made. Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. Detected additional tracks belonging to the Prophet of Profitability. Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. Additional tracks belonging to the Prophet of Profitability. Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. Detected additional tracks belonging to the Prophet of Profitability. Timeline is judging by the shape of this indentation in the dirt. A person of medium height and build laid here for a number of hours. Scanning for other details. Only additional signs of disturbance are a few marks in the dirt. Agreed. Likely theory. Individual injured was unconscious, not dead, and walked away after awakening. Timeline discrepancy detected nearby.
Fruitful and productive welcome, sister. I had a feeling you would visit me. I offer a wide variety of productivity seminars. I hope you'll consider taking one. But I should remember my manners. To what do I owe the pleasure of the Special Inspector's arrival? My disciples come to and from the Grand Colonial, bringing supplies and information. Knowing what happens at the hotel affects my livelihood, after all. With that said, I'd love to involve you in one of my productivity seminars. We should clear you of all those nasty, nasty humors hampering your potential. Absolutely not. Any statements by Ms. Helen about us were blown out of proportion and altered by the media. In fact, she quite recently... Ah, excuse me. I seem to be remembering something that never happened. Whatever the case, I'm sure her speech about us was all a misunderstanding. We offer a wide variety of seminars for all your corporate needs. Employees not working hard enough? Employees dying too often? It's most likely your managerial humors. And of course, seminars for balancing the energies of your business offices. Interior decorating is much more important for success than many would believe. If any of this sounds at all interesting to you, might I interest you in the first 82 words of our most popular seminar's introduction? Free of charge. Byzantines live lives fraught with competition, and that competition can be immensely stressful. You must, first of all, find a way to balance your thinking. Think not of bits lost, but of those you have yet to gain. After all, peace leads to productivity, and productivity leads to profit. Though thought alone won't balance you. We have a strict regimen to promote humor clearing. Session attendees stand on burning coals, sit for hours in our productivity smokehouse, and of course, fast throughout. Precisely. The barriers within yourself will break down as your skin sweats and blisters, giving the evil humors the proper space to escape. It's my patented method. Oh? I'm surprised. I wouldn't think the two of us would have much to discuss about her. We may have had some terse interactions before her death, which I most certainly regret. But beyond those, well, never mind. What would you care to know? I wouldn't necessarily say that. The media tends to exaggerate. I will admit that her remarks about my seminars were rather unfortunate. However, I certainly wouldn't sharpen any sabers over it, if that's what you mean to imply. I only do that when my clients skimp on their bills. I did not. She had no interest in my seminars, and I had no interest in attempting to convert a stubborn actress. Why would I have had any cause to engage with her further? Why, I've been at the Wilderness Exploitation Reserve for quite some time now, as my disciples can attest. In fact, I haven't visited the Colonials since I arrived several weeks ago. Bad energies, you understand. I hope you now realize that I had nothing to do with Helen's demise. Who said that? I'll be sure to give them a special seminar on not needlessly implicating the person who puts food on their table. It was a bundle of clothing, sister. Even productivity geniuses need to do laundry from time to time. Perhaps it wasn't clothes after I had a visitor, yes. But as it turned out, some of my productivity techniques were too much. But their peers came and collected them shortly thereafter. I'm sure. Oh, really? What did you find there? That all sounds like hearsay, sister. Perhaps your humors are off balance and confused. I'm delighted to
Analysis suggests this to be a variety of herbs. Herbs have been uniformly treated with a pungent chemical mix. Warning: ingesting, smoking, or inserting non-corporation sanctioned substances into your ears may be harmful to your health. Side effects from extended exposure include dizziness, nausea, and unconsciousness. Additional likelihood of organ shutdown and/or death. Analyzing. Complete. Substance appears to be a mix of industrial solvents and various essential oils. Substances include woolly cow dander remover, sprat oil, and starship surface wax. Prior analysis suggests these herbs reach peak effectiveness when users burn them and inhale the resulting smoke. Whether or not this increased effectiveness is good for an afflicted individual has yet to be determined.
By concentrating on profit, I can invite wealth into my life.
Welcome back. I'm pleased that you note. The compound they're treated with is my own invention, designed to unlock an individual's true productive potential when burned. None of my clients have... Yes, that's correct. She made it clear. Well, I suppose that does complicate things. Clever work, Inspector. It seems even I can't slide my way out of the trap you've so intricately weaved. I admit it. I killed Helen. By mistake. Helen changed her mind and wanted to attend one of my sessions. I, knowing the importance of the seminar, desired to truly galvanize her, though not to stop her heart. So when it came time, I chose to double Helen's dosage of productivity-enhancing herbs. I left her to meditate, and when I returned, she was dead. After that, I entered a less than coherent state. One of my disciples, it seems, witnessed me as I dragged Helen's body out into the wilderness. Laws, no. I hate guns. If I ever wanted to kill someone on purpose, I would have used a blunt weapon. Nothing quite like clubbing someone over the head. Do you jest? The guests at the Colonial eat no shortage of strange things, but I think corpses are perhaps too strange. The creatures of the wilderness are much less picky. Besides, the hotel is ridiculously far. I couldn't have made it all that way without someone realizing I was dragging a corpse. I'm no medical professional, but that certainly seemed the case. Usually my customers at least writhe or mumble after a session. My productivity-enhancing herbs typically do induce sluggishness, but I suppose they must have been enough to do her in, if her constitution was truly that weak. What? Is this some kind of joke? You're an inspector. I don't believe you. I think this is all a trick. You're trying to No. Someone must have moved it after I killed her. One of my business rivals. No. You can't. You think I'm going to let this injustice... You monster! What am I supposed to do now? You're heartless, Inspector. How will I ever feel safe again? All I have are dozens of...
Hope you've been enjoying your stay.
Next stop, the finest...
Inspector? Ms. Leyva earned that title, but not for the reasons you'd expect. The profit business, so... Ms. Leyva's techniques have no basis in modern science. Does the profit strike you? I'll bear that in mind. Thank you for the update, Inspector. I'll include everything you've told me in my... Closely. That doesn't surprise me. Cedric with that... No motive. That's disappointing. Unfortunately... Well, I'm glad to hear that. I've already lost Dr. Blossom and Constable... Inspector, I've tell.
They got the drop on us.
Incoming!
Doing this! Damn you! I said go! I'll show you happiness!
Everyone all right?
To make you smile.
Incoming!
Inspector? I beg your... There's nothing to prove. I don't know. I expect you to deliver the name of... We're done. I'm defensive. You're convinced I murdered Halcyon. If you have no proof... Wait, don't move a muscle. Someone's just tripped my alarm. And my security defenses. And killed my patrols. The distillery is under attack. Someone's after me, Inspector. I need you over here right now. Now... Damn it. Someone's...
Whoever the real killer is.
I guess, if we have to. Getting kind of tired.
All right. We should definitely go.
From the depths of...
Think of this as an...
Uh-huh. To the lobby.
best shot, asshole!
Been sanitized.
I can take a hint.
I had a feeling you'd catch up to me sooner or later, Inspector. I was just hoping you'd find me standing over the administrator's corpse.
What in law's name? Halcyon Helen, how are you still alive?
Oh, is that Ludovico I hear? Perfect. I'm so glad he's still in the building. Would you mind letting him know I'm about to blow his whole operation to flinders? Coming from anyone else, I might have scoffed. But you? I can believe you saw through my charade, Inspector. I've heard about you and your ship, Hawthorne. You're one of the few competent people left in this colony. That makes us two of a kind. She was much more to me than a body double. Halcyon Helen was never one person. I shared this role with my twin sister, Belinda.
A twin? The only thing worse than being an only child has gotta be having a perfect sibling. Can you imagine the parents?
Malfunction. Comprehension module is imminent for overload.
Belinda and I were the best kept secret in the business. Nobody could tell us apart. And certainly not a peevish, petty, miserable little worm like Quentin Ludovico. So when I discovered the truth, when I realized what Ludovico was about to unleash on this colony, Belinda paid the price.
My plan to save Halcyon. I'm not a murderer, Inspector. I acted in defense. I had to defend Halcyon's future.
Tell the truth, Ludovico. There's nothing safe about Spectrum Brown. You want to infest this entire colony with those disgusting parasites.
They're not parasites. These creatures are symbiotic life forms. The symbiotes evoke a feeling of joy in their host. A bliss so pure. Oh, don't you see, Inspector? A host only turns violent if they're carrying too many symbiotes, or if they see you as a threat. In its natural... Listen to me. But what about Helen? What about all the...
No one I crossed off was innocent. Have you met Dr. Blossom? She was practically a reptile. A cold-blooded psychopath who toyed with human lives in the name of scientific advancement. Leora Blossom wasn't a person. She was a weapon in Ludovico's arsenal. You call it murder? The mascot was a spy working for Ludovico. He was ordered to keep an eye on Belinda and I, and report back to his master.
You're being paranoid.
Don't try to deny it. Anywhere Belinda and I went, that mascot was there, just watching us with those cold, dead... He was a Rizzo's employee. He belonged to Ludovico's horrible Dr. Leora Blossom. Maria Keene, that flackwit of a mascot. They were standing between... I went through them. She was on Ludovico's side. When she realized I was alive, she refused to stay silent. I gave Maria a chance. I told her about Belinda. I asked for her help, but she turned me down. She was honor-bound to report me to Ludovico. Maria had a duty to her company, and I had a duty to Belinda. You know what you need to do.
Don't listen to her. Think of the future.
It's a deal.
Couldn't agree more. The last thing this colony needs is more grinning.
We don't have a lot of time. We need to get...
I'm sorry to do this to you, Inspector. Truly I am. If it's... Goodbye, Inspector.
Damn it. He sealed us in, but I think I know another way out. Follow me. Head through that door. There's another way out. investigations, but he's still at large. He's probably gone into hiding. This entire complex has been exposed to those parasites. Law only knows how many they've infected. Most of them won't even know they're carrying a If they're showing symptoms, it's probably already too late. Boundless energy, insufferable joy. Then just like that. You're a step ahead of me, Inspector. Clearly a woman of many talents. An airborne pesticide of some kind. I think you may be onto something. See you soon.
Pretty sure that's the same medical-grade dye we use to identify blood clots. It never leaves your system.
What could that have been?
Dirt alert! Dirt alert!
Uh-huh. Next stop, the finest...
It's strange. When you walk through that door, I half expected to see Belinda. Belinda and I practically shared a life. Losing her feels like losing a limb. She's... Thank you, but no. I can't grieve properly while Ludovico's still... We shut down Ludovico's distillation plant, but he's not gonna sit idly by. If he can't use Spectrum Brown to infect the colony, he'll resort to some kind of backup. I stole this formula from Dr. Blossom, a failed prototype of Spectrum Brown. Look at this. I obviously can't be seen gallivanting across Eridanos. And after that display, we're going to need 2 ingredients. A sample of essence of sprat, and 1 intact pod of parasite eggs. Cedric's warehouse in the Perea space. You're a scientist and an inspector? I borrowed a centrifuge from the research lab. I'm glad I could count on you. Once you're finished, head to the pilot. I like the way you think, Inspector. I know. Best of luck, Inspector. Why, Inspector? Am I being all right. Belinda and I shared the role. I could be myself around No. What I want is my sister. Parents, naturally. An agent. To them, Belinda. I'm glad.
Va bene raga, io mi fermo per la pausa cena. Comunque è stato tutto un colpo di retroscena. Ho tirato a indovinare in effetti. Va bene raga, io mi fermo qui. Grazie a tutti per la compagnia, ci becchiamo probabilmente dopo. Hmm.